Hey everyone, Norma with Orange Lingerie here, and thanks for joining me. Today I want to show you some important steps to take before you start sewing. These steps will help get your sewing project off to a great and confident start. Let's just dive right in. Let's start by cleaning our workspace. You never know what you had on the board before, and here it looks like I had something really linty. So you want to start by cleaning your work surface. Next, let's clean the machine. Let's get underneath the plate to clean any dust that lies underneath. This could get on your project, and it's just a good idea to periodically clean this space. You just use the little brush in there. And of course, we also want to clean the surface of the sewing machine. Again, what was on there? Maybe there was glitter, I don't know, but I don't want it to show up on my next project. Now, of course, we need to wash our hands. Now, I promise you I washed my hands for the regulation period of time, but I sped this up just a little bit. My soap has little grains in it to help exfoliate as well as clean my hands, which is great because I like to work with things like silks and I don't want to snag that material while I'm in the sewing process. Now let's test out all of the techniques that we're going to use in our project. So here I've already selected the needle that I want to use. So I've got a Microtex needle in there, and I've already selected the thread color that I want and the thread type. So now I'm just testing here what a seam allowance will look like. How does this fabric handle? What does the stitching look like? I want to take a look at all of those things to be sure I like the settings before I start sewing my project. Well, I think it looks pretty good. I like the way the stitch looks, and I think this is going to work. So I'm going to go with these settings. Now, of course, I'm going to be top stitching as well. So I want to see what that's going to look like. It'll look a little bit different. The stitching will look a little bit different on the right side of the fabric, given this is a silk charmeuse. So again, I'm looking for, do I like the stitch? Do I like the length of the stitch? Do I like the thread color? All of those things are being evaluated. Now, the other technique I'm using for this project is appliquing some lace. So I tested that as well just to see how that works. And I think this is looking pretty good. Next, I need to check settings of my iron. When I press the material, do I have the right setting? Does this press cloth work? Now, I actually worked with a lot of silk charmeuse, so I know that this is the right setting and I do need a press cloth, but these are things you want to test. Also, how do pins work with your fabric? These are silk pins, and I'm putting them in through my swatch to see what they will look like, if they'll leave an impression. And you can't really see it in the video, but there are some little holes. I'm just going to give it a little press. And yeah, they still show. Now, I know from working with silk charmeuse that I don't want to use pins in the body of the garment. I want to keep it to the seam allowances. So the other thing I'm going to be needing to do for this project is I'm going to need to mark it. So this is my favorite marking tool, a little chalkener. And it works great on the wrong side. I like that. What happens on the right side? I'm just curious. So let's see. Yeah, that doesn't really seem to be coming out. So I'm not going to do that. So the final step is just take notes of all these things for the fabric you're working with for your project. Things like stitch length, stitch width for a zigzag, pins, thread, all of the things. Anything you feel like you will need to know while you're sewing this project. Once you've done these tests and you have these notes, you can refer to them time and time again. So if this project needs to get set aside for a period of time, it happens to all of us. When you come back, you will have the notes and you will see where you left off and what you need to pay attention to for this project. And so there you have it. Some steps you can take before you start sewing to help set your project up for success. What steps do you like to take before you start sewing? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video today, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to be sure not to miss any of our video tutorials, please subscribe to our channel. Till next time.